Hey, welcome back to Frank's Favorite Foods, where I'm always cooking up a good time. This is the channel where I teach you how to make restaurant quality food at home. This is Frank's favorite fried rice. No matter whether it's New York style Chinese, Thai, or even from the damn food court, I love fried rice. So this dish utilizes many elements from my favorite fried rice recipes. As always, you'll find the full recipe in the description below. I'm going to start by preparing a little bit of yellow onion, but you should put in whatever veggies you like. When it comes to actually seasoning the fried rice, I'll do my best to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing, so you can decide whether that step actually makes sense for you. Next, I'm going to prepare a little bit of diced carrot. I think the carrot and onion are an homage to the cheap Chinese I grew up eating, and still shamelessly covet when I happen to be near a food court. My first real taste of Chinese food came when the babysitter brought over carryout. Prior to that, my only experience with Chinese was a 2-stage can labeled Le Choy. Next, I'm adding a little diced red pepper. Not that I've ever seen it in any fried rice recipe, I just happen to like it. And in my opinion, no fried rice recipe would be complete without a little scallion. Store the prepped veggies separately. We're going to cook them together, but they're all going to require a little bit different cooking time. Next, I'm going to lightly scramble 3 eggs. While I generally detest eggs in any form, I couldn't actually conceive of making fried rice without them. Set the eggs aside until we're ready to assemble the dish. Keep them separate from the veggies. Next, let's saute the veggies. Since the carrots will take longer than the onions and peppers, we'll add those first. In a bit of vegetable oil, saute the carrots for about 60 seconds. Then go ahead and add the peppers and onions. Saute the carrots, peppers, and onions together for another 60 seconds. Finally, throw in your snow peas, stir those around for about 30 seconds, and then remove from the heat. This cooking technique will ensure that your veggies are tender while remaining crisp and fresh. As I stated earlier, add the ingredients that you really like. I really like adding shrimp to my fried rice. Not just because I love the taste of shrimp, but I love the way that the shrimp flavors the oil, and I love the way that the oil flavors the fried rice. Cooking the shrimp thoroughly should only take 2 or 3 minutes. As soon as the shrimp are done, remove them from the pan and set them aside. Next, I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of water. This ensures that I get all those little bits of shrimpy goodness off of the bottom of the pan. I'm going to let the water evaporate from the pan. Next, we'll add some vegetable oil and fresh garlic. The shrimp and fresh garlic season the oil perfectly. Saute the garlic for about 30 seconds just to release the flavor, but be careful not to burn it. I'm using long grain white rice that I prepared the day earlier. I found that the rice is easier to work with if you let it come to room temperature first. The grains seem to separate easier when the rice isn't so cold and hard. The next step is important. It's called fried rice for a reason, and that's because you actually have to fry the rice. So let's talk about the soy sauce we're going to use. This is really important. As I'm sure you know, there are many different kinds of soy sauce. I'm using thick soy sauce. Thick soy sauce is richer, has a greater depth of flavor, and is a little less salty than the soy sauce you normally use as a condiment. Because I want just a little hint of sweetness in this dish, I'm going to add a little oyster sauce. I typically use this product when I'm making sauce for lo mein noodles. I know this is the food nerd in me, but there's something really cool about seeing plain old long grain white rice instantly transform into delicious golden brown fried rice. Next, I'm adding a few kafir lime leaves, adding just a hint of a citrusy lemongrass sort of note. I'm going to add a little sesame oil and then basically reintroduce all the prepared ingredients. As you see, I've added the shrimp and the eggs. Next, I'm going to add back in the mixed veggies, the peppers, onions, carrots, and snow peas. Bean sprouts add a little crunch and nuttiness. And finally, some chopped scallions. So, that's the dish. For me, this is really comfort food. So many of my favorite elements combined in one dish. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do that right now. Hit the little notifications bell, that way you'll know every time I put out a new video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Liking and sharing really helps to grow my channel. I'll see you in the next video.